Who do you think is your favorite orc clan? Within the lore of Warhammer 40K, the orcs see the Goff clan, Goff, as the true embodiment of orkdom. They are brutal, they are savage, and they're super like basic. All they want is close combat. Don't care about flashy colors, don't care about flashy vehicles or anything like that. All they want to do is get stuck in and fight.
They seem to be the kind of like traditional orcs in the sense when you think of 40k orcs, it's usually the Goff clan.
And the prophet of the Wog, Godskul Magurkthraka, is definitely Goff.
What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm joined by
Gershwan.
I mean, who else, right? Anyway, we're back at it again, answering more questions from you guys in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. Also, we are celebrating Orctober. So these questions are obviously going to be kind of centered around the greenskins. So if you guys have questions, please ask down in the comment section below and we will get to it. But today's question is, I guess we should say, who's the best orc clan?
That's more of a question for you because they're all your favorite. But if you had to pick one.
It's easy. Within the lore of Warhammer 40k, the orcs see the Goff clan, Goff, as the true embodiment of orkdom. They are brutal, they are savage, and they're super like basic. All they want is close combat. Don't care about flashy colors, don't care about flashy vehicles or anything like that. All they want to do is get stuck in and fight. So Goffs.
Yeah. They seem to be the kind of like traditional orcs in the sense when you think of 40k orcs, it's usually the Goff clan.
And the prophet of the Wog, Godskul Magurkthraka, is definitely Goff. He's the leader of all of them. And they have what I think is cool is like there's so much into each clan. There's so much like details into each clan. Mm-hmm. The Goff symbol is a bull's horn. No, what's it called? Bull's head.
Something like that, yeah.
Which I think it's funny. Like you are a green skin and your symbol is a bull, like something that exists in Terra. It's weird.
For me, like I don't know. Whenever I thought orcs, they never really like appealed to me. But the more I got into the lore, the more I learned about them. I really like the whole snake bites, the whole feral orcs. Like we don't need machinery. Like they are the weapon themselves. And then with this new wave of the Beastnaga boys, and then the Squigots, the Squigosaur, and the different varieties of just little like squigs really seemed really cool to me, to the point where like you could even go into, I believe it's Age of Sigmar, and they have a whole orc lineup of like feral orcs that you could play around with, and the overall shaman-y aspect of it just makes them look really cool and really badass.
They were my favorite clan for a really long time because back in, I think, 5th edition, they came out with a free codex on the Warhammer or Games Workshop website. And it was all feral orc stuff. And that's where you had the rules and the stats for the Squigots. Mm-hmm. And then you had rules and stats for like different creatures that were like squig-like. So it was like the primordial Beastnaga boys. Mm-hmm. And I loved reading the lore. I loved the art. The art looked like they made them look super savage and like cruel. Whereas I think that when you look at orcs and they have like clothes on, especially like the Blood Axe clan, which is the ones that's dressed like very militaristic, like Storm Boys are that part of that clan.
Even freebooters dressing up like pirates and stuff like that.
It's goofy, and I'd never liked it. But then the feral orcs came out, and I'm like, yeah, these things are more like what an orc is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, orcs don't have gender, so you would just see them completely naked. There's no like sexual appeal. Although we talked about why orcs wear clothes.
Yeah, it's a whole thing about culture, what they represent, what they want you to think, and definitely check out that short. If it hasn't come out yet, it will be coming out pretty soon.
Yeah. And then also like honorable mention, I think, is the Bad Moons, just because...
Yes, I was about to bring that up.
My entire orc army is centered around the Bad Moon clan. Not because I like the Bad Moon culture. The culture of the Bad Moons is basically they grow teeth faster than other orcs, so they're richer. The orc currency is teeth. So they want to showboat their, what's it called, affluence or influence. So they paint everything yellow and gold and show off their fancy stuff because they can buy it. So honorable mention to them. The reason they are my clan, though, is not because of the culture. It's because of the colors.
Yeah.
Yellow.
The color scheme really pops, especially with like the greens and stuff.
If I think about it now, most of my armies, the big ones, are yellow. Imperial Fists and
Orcs.
Evil Sons. Or yes, my bad.
Evil
Bad
Sons,
Moons.
Bad Moons, yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know your favorite orc clan in the comments below, and let's not forget about red orcs either.
Ooh, let's talk about red orcs. Why do red orcs exist?
So basically, when it comes to orc skin, obviously they're called the green skins. Most orcs are going to be green, but the longer they live, the more they fight, their green skin gets darker and darker to the point where once upon a time there were black orcs. These like huge warriors of just pure rage and muscle that were like akin to maybe even Primarch level. Like that was an awesome story. But now we also have another thing on that same pendulum, and that is the red orc.
Yeah, the red orc is an orc influenced by, obviously, Khorne. Back in the day, odd boys, there was a whole section on odd boys within the codex, the orc codex, and it broke down each individual orc mutation. So if Tzeentch influenced an orc, if
Nurgle,
yeah, all that kind of stuff. So the red orc comes from that. It is a manipulation of the blood god. His red brass colors influence the orc, and then the orc is now that. It is a red boy.
Which you would kind of think, like, if orcs love mayhem, war so much, why aren't they all influenced by Khorne?
Because they have Gork and Mork.
The protection of the orc gods, the brutally cunning and the cunningly brutal.
Yes, they are tougher than the gods of
chaos.
Of chaos, yeah.
But that would be interesting because, like, Gork and Mork, they seem to be, because for the longest time, people weren't sure if they were like actual gods, if it was just like hallucinations from Gaskell to kind of push them. But no, over the time, we kind of got more solidified that, like, yeah, the gods do exist. They are actually talking to the prophet of the wall to kind of push that agenda aside. Makari is another thing too, which, like, I don't know how that works. Where, like, Makari can die, obviously, yeah. But then Gaskell can just point at another grot and be like, "You're Makari," and that grot like manifests into Makari, gaining all his thoughts and mannerisms and essentially replacing him.
Because of the powers of the Wog. Well, I mean, we got a little bit off topic talking about Gaskell. Gaskell is a really cool story once you like get really deep into it, especially with the new lore that's coming out. But the thing I was gonna say too about the red orcs is that we have to talk about Tusca Demon Killer.
Yeah.
So that is a orc character that deserves mention because he was captured by Khorne, and Khorne enjoyed the fact that the orcs were so good at fighting that he was like, I'm going to make you train my generals. I'm going to send your boys, the Demon Killer, at my generals, and my generals will get better fighters because they're fighting you. So he's stuck in the warp in this endless loop of constantly fighting generals, and to the orcs, it's heaven. They're fighting Khorne's greatest warriors and butchering them. The only thing is that I don't know what the lore says about orcs, like what the appearance of these orcs would be. Because like what you mentioned, the more an orc fights, the darker and bigger he gets. Like they see fighting not as like I might die. It's like an opportunity to grow and become better. So if that's the case, then are these orcs who are constantly getting revived just getting bigger and tougher, and like there's just demonic looking giant massive orcs in the warp? Or when they restart the day, is it like Groundhog Day where like nothing happened and they're just back to normal?
Yeah, they might not gain or keep the gains they're getting if it's like some time manipulation stuff in the warp. But regardless, it's a very fun story, and it gives Khorne and the orcs what they want, and that is a good fight.
Yeah. Then obviously you have other orc odd boys. I remember the old codex had Gene Stealer orcs. Those were odd. And then the freebooters, they would have orcs that were consumed by Kroot, and then the Kroot became, because like the whole thing about the Kroot lore is that if a Kroot eats a certain type of flesh, it gains some of the characteristics. And if you have a shitty Kroot shaper, I think it's called, and they eat too much greenskin, and greenskins are a primary fighting thing for Kroots and the Tau in general, then they can devolve into orkoid-like things. So then these orkoid-like things join freebooter Captain Wogs, and you have these like half orc, half Kroot hybrid things. That was really cool when I read it in the lore.
Yeah, like the things that like you don't really see outright in the whole 40K universe, they're really interesting, and like the sandboxy nature of it is what appeals. Like Gene Stealer orcs, awesome. Kroot orcs, awesome. But you will never know that if you're just playing the tabletop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of, because I remember the old white dwarves would have like, oh, this is how you can convert Kroot to look like orcs. It was stupid though, because
you just took the orc arms, right?
Yeah, it looked really bad because they didn't fit. Like the Kroot body is so tiny, and then you have these just giant, massive like forearms, holding a shooter for some reason. There was a lot of really cool. Like back in the day, they used to say if you are a true like 40K player, you're gonna play orcs. Because they're a shitty fucking army. You're gonna lose a lot, so you really have to learn how to play. But also because of the kit bash nature of them.
Yeah, you could make a really good looking orc army with just trash.
Yeah, Mini Wargaming used to have a competition where you would take the old GW paint cans and turn them into kilocons. So yeah, it was. If you're an orc player, you're like holding on to like a legacy that's really, really important.
Yeah, usually orc players tend to be much more creative than other 40K players because they're like, oh, I see this. How can I incorporate that into my army? One of the best and awesome things that they took out of the Orc Codex was the looted wagon. You used to be able to get any vehicle in 40K and just make it orcified and use that as your looted wagon. Yeah. And now they actually came out with like an official kit, right?
No, I think you still don't have a looted. They just got rid of the looted wagon altogether.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you heard it here first. The Sound Alchemist said that the best 40K players are orc players. So there you go.
Best players, not tactically good though.
It is cool that within the play group, there's 2 orc players now. That's how Creature has started playing his Death Skulls. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention. Death Skulls paint their bodies blue because they think blue makes them lucky. Yeah. So a red orc could also just be an orc who's stupid enough to think that if he paints himself red, he's gonna go faster. He's not. No. That's not how it works.
Right. Because the thing about orc belief isn't like that, which a lot of people think it is, but it isn't.
There's a speed freak just zoomed by to prove us wrong. Because if you paint a vehicle red, it does go faster, both on the tabletop and in the lore. Yeah. But so to the point is, it doesn't work in the way that like one individual orc believing that he's faster does not make him go faster.
It takes an entire like wall, and then that energy coalesces, and then it manifests.
And if you think we're wrong, we probably are, because there's more nuance to that. Obviously, guys, we're not noobs to this. We've been doing this for a while.
Codices change, writers change. But the thing that never changes is my love for the orcs.
There you go. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. I hope you guys are enjoying the Greater Wog Orktober Fest, as well as all the other Orktober video shenanigans we got going on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll talk next week.
That's right. Keep those orky questions coming, and so will we. This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Put my freedom first in any situation.